This episode of the Crack House Chronicles is brought to you by CVC Visual Concepts. I'm going to tell you, these guys have got it going on when it comes to your printing needs. Whether it's stickers, banners, posters, T-shirts. Oh my God, T-shirts, yes. Decals, whatever your printing need is, these guys can do it. They do great quality. They've got a quick turnaround time. Our latest stickers we had done for the Crack House Chronicles, they did them for us. Great quality. Good product. Give them a call today. I'm going to put a link to their website and Facebook page in the description for this podcast. Also, if you contact them and you mention Crack House Chronicles, they will give you 10% off your bill. So why not check them out today? Give them a call. That's CVC Visual Concepts. Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles. I am Donnie, your host. And guys, I am pleased and just overexcited to announce I have a new co-host. Dale, what's up?
What's up, Donnie? Glad to be here. Glad you asked me to jump on this ride, and let's hit the runway, and I'm ready to take off.
Well, we're going to take off. We're not going to crash either. This is going to be great. I am just super excited to have you with me, man. This is going to be good stuff because we're going to continue to do this. We're going to put out a podcast once a week and make this thing work.
Well, let's do it.
All right, this episode this week is a mysterious case, and it's the murder of Rhonda Hinson. Now, Dale, we know that, the holiday seasons is a time for Christmas parties and pretty much a traditional way of easing into the festival spirit. And this case happened at that time of year, Christmas time, and it was the night of December 22nd, 1981. I think you said that was a Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
Rhonda, she had, recently graduated from high school in Valdez, North Carolina. She was the daughter of Bobby and Judy Hinson, and she had got a job at Hickory Steel as a clerical worker, I think.
That's correct. Yep.
And they had their Christmas party that night, and from everything I've read and everything I've heard, they stayed till about 12 o'clock. She went with some friends or co-workers that were there.
Yeah, that's what I read too. And it happened to be at the American Legion Hall in Hickory, North Carolina.
Okay, American Legion Hall, but it was their Hickory Steel company's Christmas party.
Yes.
So just try to separate those two places together. But they stayed till around midnight that night. And she was with her friends, and they left. And I think the original plan was they were all going to spend the night together, hang out or whatever, but Rhonda was going home.
Yep, that's right. They got there, and she decided about 12:30 she was just going to go on home.
Yeah. So she got on Interstate 40, heading toward Valdez, and exited off the Mineral Springs Mountain Road exit.
Yeah, I think that's exit 112, if I'm correct on that.
Okay. And she exited off and was turned under the underpass and was heading up a hill. It's just a little small grade. I've been through there. It's been a while since I've been through there. And it's a small grade hill. And that was where, at about 12:30, she was struck by a bullet from a high-powered rifle.
Right.
And this bullet pierced the back of her car. She was driving a Datsun 210.
Yep, B210, beige in color.
Beige in color. And these are small cars, Dale. They're not a very high-sitting profile car, are they?
No, very, very small, with a, deck lid about 32 inches from what I gather. Even the roof height's only like 53 inches off the ground. So it's a tiny car. Yeah.
So it's a small car.
Yeah.
All right. So she was going up this hill heading to her home, and she was less than a mile from her house.
Yep.
Her house is up at the top of this hill in a little development up there. That was when she was struck. The bullet from a high-powered rifle struck the back of her car, went through the back of her car, through the back seat, through the driver's seat, and pierced her lung and heart from everything I've read.
One shot, yep.
One shot. There's been no other evidence of any other shot at all. And at that point, we had talked about this off the air, and we don't know if that Datsun was a straight drive or a automatic.
Right. No, I couldn't find any information at all on that. I don't think they even released it, or they didn't think it was important. But to me, I was kind of wondering.
But anyway, getting to that, that's kind of weird because the car, when Rhonda was hit with this bullet, the car rolled back down the hill, crossing the center line, and backed off the highway, sort of angled, with the back end of the car in the ditch and the front end still on the highway.
Yes, that's correct.
We're going to post pictures of this. There's pictures online, but we're going to post pictures of this on our social media, Instagram, Facebook and stuff, and you guys can check it out there. But the car was off the road. The driver's window was down.
Yep.
All right, Dale, what kind of details do you have about that night?
Well, that night it was laying there. Well, when they rolled into the back there, the door was open, the car was running, the lights were still on, and everything when they found it. But we know that it was a pretty dark night. It was a dark, temperatures probably around the 30s. There was a waning crescent moon, visibility around 20%. But we also did see that the moon rise wasn't until 4:06 a.m. So it was pretty pitch black.
It was pitch black that night, right?
Yeah.
So, and you said the temperatures what that night?
Well, the low was was around 30 and the high was around 50. So I would think it was around 30 degrees.
So yeah, that kind of weirds me out that the driver's window was rolled down.
Right, it'd be awful chilly.
Why was that window rolled down? Was she stopped by someone? Did she know someone or somebody approach her vehicle before she was shot? I mean, would she, after being shot through the heart, would she have, you're going to live for a little while. You're going to, I don't think you're going to die right away.
Right.
Would she have had the ability or the thought to roll that window down?
I don't know. It's a.
I mean, you and I we've talked too, if you're driving home, if you get sleepy while driving, this was 12:30.
It was pretty late. Yeah.
I mean, I've rolled the window down.
Yeah, me too.
And
several times.
Just to get some fresh air to stay awake. So we don't know if that was the case or what. But anyway, the car backed up down the highway, was on the left side of the road, and the driver's door was open. Rhonda was laying outside the car when she was found, on her back with her arms almost looking like her arms were down by her side, like they were placed there.
Yeah, an unnatural position. Say if she fell out of the car backwards, she wouldn't have been laying like that.
No. All right, let's get into some of the eyewitness stuff here. Before Rhonda was shot, eyewitness had spotted a vehicle under the underpass,
right.
Sitting under the underpass. This vehicle, from everything I've read, Dale, was a blue Chevy.
Yeah, what I read, the lady said it was somewhere between 12:15 and 12:30, and there were two men in a blue Chevrolet, and they were facing north, sitting underneath at the exit.
Yeah, they were actually on the opposite side of the road,
facing the wrong way.
Yeah. If you can just imagine that. And like you said too, this was a pitch black night,
right,
under an underpass. How is she going to identify, or positively, identify the gender of the folks sitting in this car?
Yeah, maybe two shadows, two individuals, but yeah, I don't know how correct that could be.
Yeah, that baffles me quite a bit. So they didn't think nothing about this. I think this was reported later on, when they were doing the investigation. Now, at the time Rhonda was shot, there was another eyewitness that saw Rhonda's car off the road, backed into the ditch, with a person standing outside of the car, and a figure slumped over the vehicle, which we're going to assume that's Rhonda.
She was slumped over the steering wheel.
Slumped over the steering wheel. So this person, we don't know if they were a passerby trying to help. I don't know if there was another car reported there. Somebody pulled over to try to help someone. But this person, this eyewitness, claimed, they said that they thought it was just somebody drinking, and that's all they thought.
Right. They just thought maybe it was somebody drunk and they were just on the side of the road, so they just saw somebody was with them, so they just continued on.
Okay. All right.
Now, this same witness later came back, and they done under hypnosis to see if he could think of anything that he couldn't think of while they talked to him, and he agreed to do it. And then he come up and he said it was a 70s Chevelle. And
Okay.
it had a messed up front end, some primer on the front end. And he said that the guy that was standing out by the car was around 5'7" to 6 foot. And then he also remembered that there was another car just down the road. It was either a dark blue or a black Trans Am.
Uh-huh.
Now, they did find fingerprints on the door, but none of that has matched anything in the database since then or then.
And this black or dark blue Trans Am, there are some people that actually believe this car may have been driven by the murderer. Now, just prior to Rhonda being murdered, her mother woke up in the middle of the night from a dream, and she had dreamed that Rhonda had been in an accident. And she told her husband, Bobby, to turn on the scanner just to see, what was going on, anything had happened or anything. And it just so happened they had heard that Rhonda had been shot. Her car was less than a mile from their home.
Right.
I mean, how freaky would that be? I mean, how scary would that be?
Yeah, premonition to reality in just a few minutes.
Yeah. We get into some theories and different things about why Rhonda could possibly have been murdered. There's one theory. She had went to her mother prior to all this saying that, or asking her mother if there's ever a good time to have a relationship with a married man.
Yeah, and her mother said, no, I don't think there's ever a good time. It just ends up in everybody getting hurt.
Yeah, and Rhonda's mother recalled this conversation later on, after her death. But it's kind of, weird that she would ask that, why, if she was asking it for her or a friend of hers.
Yeah, and she was acting weird as well because usually outgoing and stuff. And then all of a sudden, anytime she wanted to go to town, she would ask her dad to ride with her anytime and anywhere she went, which was not really part of her character. And then also she was kind of had insomnia and would stay up late at night and taking showers in the middle of her night. And when asked about it, she just said that she just always felt really dirty.
Yeah, and I've read a lot of criminal cases and things like that. And anytime somebody wants to shower like that, it's always a sign of their sexual assault or some kind of abuse somewhere going on there.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so, but also another behavior Rhonda was having, she would go to her parents' bedroom in the middle of the night and actually sleep on the floor at the foot of their bed. Because I read an interview with her father, and where he got up one morning to go to work and he tripped over her laying there. So, she'd done that several times. So, it makes me wonder what was going on. What was she scared of?
She was scared of something. There's some serious nightmares or something going on to do that, especially at her age.
Yeah, 19 years old. And her father had also stated, too, that there was something important she needed to tell him, but she never got around to it.
Yeah, one of those trips when they were going into town, she told him that she really had something she needed to tell him, and he didn't push it, and then she never told him, and then she was killed.
Yeah. So, it's kind of weird. Getting back to the crime scene, me and Dale, we've talked off the air about this too, and her car was traveling up a hill, and for that bullet to strike the back of her car and hit it, in a straight line and go through the back seat, the front seat, and into her heart, it would have had been shot down below the hill or ricocheted off the highway.
Yeah, it's just a weird trajectory. Just especially the lowness of the car only being 32 inches off the ground at the height of the deck lid, and her going up a hill. And it's dark, almost pitch black. I just don't see how it can be an intentional shot, but an accidental shot is also pretty sketchy.
Yeah, I mean there was a case I listened to here a while back. There was a woman shot in her vehicle driving down the road from a guy that was shooting beer cans on the lake. And the bullet ricocheted off the water and struck her in the head.
Yeah, through a window, shot her in the head. And so there was a policeman behind her. She started driving erratic and pulled, and she kind of run off the road and went up there, and she was dead.
Yeah, so, I mean, freaky things can happen. But this was 12:30, 1 o'clock at night. Dark night, pitch black, no moon, very cold. I don't know. I've heard reports, it could have been a hunter, but somebody maybe spotlighting deer. But, this was right next to an interstate.
Yes.
Yeah, Interstate 40, big interstate.
A busy interstate. Yeah.
Big interstate in North Carolina. But, it's the middle of the night. So,
This is a 1 in a million shot, whether it was on purpose or it was an accident or not. I don't think you could ever do it again.
no, I don't think it could be repeated at all. So it makes me wonder, was she being stalked? Was she, her behavior, was she having an affair with someone?
Was she afraid of somebody or something?
Yeah, there's so many questions to ask about this. And anybody that knows law enforcement and have listened to crime cases, law enforcement don't tell you everything. They don't reveal all their cards at one time.
Right.
They don't, they don't tell you everything.
We don't know the caliber of the rifle. All we know is it's high-powered rifle.
That's all we've been told. It would be nice to know the caliber of that bullet, what it was.
Yeah, how strong the gun was just to penetrate all that car, and how far of a distance it would do. How close you would have to be to make that happen.
Yeah,
to
go through the back of the car, through 2 seats, and into her.
Right.
You'd think over a distance that bullet would lose some velocity.
Yeah.
It would lose, but
and even if it was a ricocheted bullet, it would take some power off. That.
Yeah, coming off the highway or off a tree or anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that how all this went down. It's sad too. The family, Rhonda's mother, has left her room in her home exactly the way it was. It hadn't changed a thing. Her dolls, her bed, everything she had in her room is left exactly like it was from 1981. Nothing different. I can't imagine, Dale. I can't imagine what the family has had to endure to keep going, and interviews they've had to do. And
yeah, they said they've done hundreds and hundreds of interviews, and they still hadn't got anything. Even in 1982. The reward for any information was up over $20,000, and they still haven't got anything.
Mm-hmm. I think at the time, it wasn't long after that, the governor of North Carolina, Jim Hunt, I think he had added $5,000 at one time, bringing it up to $20,000. There was several I think Hickory Steel put some in, and to make the total $20,000.
Right.
There's been a description of Rhonda. It says, I can almost imagine Rhonda is still here. This is by her mother. We have a baby doll that she had years and years ago. We kept that out. We've kept some of her trophies out. The grave marker, I think, says it all. On the grave marker, it says, always a ray of sunshine. That's the best description that we could have of Rhonda. It's a perfect description.
Wow.
So, I mean, a life taken so short, and after all these years, nothing has been solved about it. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. No DNA evidence, no fingerprints. They did find some DNA evidence on her sweater under the armpits. So, if someone did come by to help her, that would be where they would have grabbed her to help her out of the car and then laid her down, which would make sense of how she was laying. But maybe she was already gone, and then they just got out of there because they didn't want to be indicted or considered for the murder.
Yeah, that's true. And there were fingerprints on the car too that have never been identified.
Right, on the door.
So, yeah, but if anybody, has any information on this out there, you can contact Burke County Sheriff's Department or your local law enforcement. They can get in contact with them. You can leave us a message. You can leave a comment on this episode and give us your thoughts. We'd love to hear you weigh in on it and tell us what you think.
Yeah, most definitely. Give us a shout out if you know anything, or if you know anybody that does know anything.
That's it. All right, guys. If you like this podcast, go to wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave us a 5-star rating. That helps.
5-star.
5-star, not a 4-star. We want a 5-star. And tell us what you think. Leave a description. Check out our social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Subscribe.
Tell us what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear, what you like, what you don't like.
And like I said, too, we're going to put out a case once a week and give you guys something to listen to.
Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed it.
All right, guys. All that being said, this is
the Crack House Chronicles.